The fastest way to disappear is to become easy to understand. Think about it. You can walk past the same shop, the same street, the same faces every day, and your brain doesn't even register them anymore. But the moment something feels different, something slightly off, your attention locks in. Because the human brain is not designed to notice what is familiar. It is designed to hunt what is unpredictable. And here's the part nobody tells you. When you become too safe, too clear, too easy to label, people stop feeling you, even if they still like you. Today I'm going to show you the psychological reason why some people are magnetic without trying, and why others, no matter how kind or impressive, keep getting overlooked. This isn't about being rude. It's not about playing games. And it's definitely not about pretending to be someone you are not. This is about learning how attraction actually works at the level of the human mind, and once you see it, you can never unsee it. Before we go deeper, if you're someone who wants to understand people, psychology, confidence, and social power on a real level, not surface-level advice, then make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. These videos are not for people who want shortcuts. They're for people who want real influence, real presence, and real control over their own mindset. Alright, let's get into it. 1. Why the brain erases you. Your brain is an efficiency machine. Its job is to save energy. Anything it understands. Anything it can predict. Anything it has already categorized. It stops paying attention to. That's why you don't notice your own breathing. That's why background noise disappears. That's why routines feel invisible. And unfortunately, that's also what happens to people when someone fits neatly into a box. Nice guy, funny friend, responsible coworker, safe partner. Your brain marks them as known. And once something is known, it stops being exciting. Not because it's bad, but because it's no longer stimulating. This is where most people get confused. They think, if I'm reliable, kind, consistent, and supportive, people will desire me. And yes, those traits create trust. But trust and desire are not the same emotion. Trust feels like comfort. Desire feels like curiosity, tension, and emotional movement. Trust makes you respected. Desire makes you remembered. And the brain only creates desire for things it hasn't fully solved yet. 2. The side of you people don't show. Psychology has known this for a long time. Every person has 2 layers: the public self, the version they show the world, and the private self, the impulses, fears, wants, and contradictions they hide. You could call it persona and shadow. You could call it mask and truth. Different words, same reality. People learn very early that certain parts of them are acceptable and others are not. So they edit themselves. They suppress anger. They hide desire. They soften ambition. They control emotion. And they build a personality that keeps them socially safe. But here's the part most people don't realize. The more controlled the surface becomes, the more intense the hidden side grows. Energy doesn't disappear. It just gets stored. That tension builds up. And deep attraction happens when someone makes you feel like you don't have to keep holding it in. Not when they compliment your mask, but when they recognize what's underneath it. 3. Why most interactions feel boring. Most people interact only with what they can see. Someone presents themselves as confident. They treat them like a confident person. Someone acts serious. They respond with seriousness. Someone acts calm and polite. They stay polite. So both people stay locked inside their public roles. And the conversation never goes deeper than performance. It feels fine, but it doesn't feel memorable, because nothing real is happening. It's 2 masks talking to each other. Attraction doesn't grow in that environment, because attraction grows when people feel seen, not just acknowledged. The core principle, without manipulation. Here's the principle. People are most drawn to those who recognize the parts of them they don't normally get to express, not the parts they advertise, the parts they protect. This is not about attacking. This is not about embarrassing anyone. This is not about lowering confidence. It's about subtle emotional recognition. You notice the contradiction between how someone acts and what they might actually feel. And instead of ignoring it, you gently point to it, not as a fact, but as a curious observation. That tiny moment creates something powerful. Emotional tension plus emotional safety, which is the foundation of deep attraction and connection. 5. How to spot the hidden side. You don't need psychology degrees for this. You just look for extremes, because extreme behavior usually protects an opposite feeling. Here are some patterns. Someone who acts very independent, often hides a strong desire to be supported. Someone who acts overly positive, often hides stress or emotional pressure. Someone who is always joking and loud, often craves quiet understanding. Someone who is extremely organized and controlled, often has suppressed chaos and impulse. Someone who is emotionally guarded and sarcastic, often feels deeply but doesn't trust easily. The surface tells you what they show. The pattern tells you what they hide. And attraction grows when you respond to the second one. 6. How to communicate IT safely. This is important. You do not accuse. You do not analyze. You do not expose. You suggest. You frame it playfully, curiously, lightly. Examples. Instead of, "You're pretending to be tough," you say, "You act like nothing affects you." But I don't think that's the full story. Instead of, "You're not really confident," you say, "You come across confident, but I get the feeling you're way more thoughtful than people realize." Instead of, "You're hiding your emotions," you say, "I feel like you don't show how deeply you actually think about things." Notice the difference? You're not attacking the identity. You're opening a door. And when someone walks through that door themselves, they feel understood instead of judged. What happens in the brain? When Mayone feels emotionally recognized, several things happen. 1. Their nervous system relaxes. 2. Dopamine increases, interest and curiosity. 3. Emotional bonding hormones activate. 4. Mental focus locks onto the source of safety. They associate relief and stimulation with your presence. Not because you impress them, but because they can drop their guard around you. That's powerful, and it's rare. Most people only feel that level of comfort with very few people in their life, which is why they remember those people strongly. 8. Body language matters too. Words aren't enough. Your physical presence must match emotional stability. If someone is dominant and assertive, you don't compete aggressively. You remain calm and unshaken, still, relaxed, unreactive. That signals, "I'm not threatened by strength." If someone is shy and quiet, you stay grounded and confident, not overly soft, not overly intense. That signals, "I can lead without pressure." Your nervous system communicates before your words do, and attraction responds more to nervous system signals than to clever lines. 9. What this ice not? Let's be clear. This is not about manipulating emotions. It's not about making people dependent. It's not about trying to control behavior. Real attraction happens when both people feel more free, not more trapped. If someone feels smaller around you, you're doing it wrong. If someone feels more themselves around you, you're doing it right. The goal is not power over people. The goal is emotional resonance with people. Big difference. 10. Why you must use your own realness. This only works if you are not pretending to be perfect. If you hide every flaw, every desire, every contradiction, people will hide too. But if you're relaxed about your own imperfections, your ambition, your competitiveness, your intensity, your humor, your edge, others feel safer doing the same. You don't need to trauma dump. You don't need to confess everything. Just don't act like a flawless character. Real recognizes real. 11. The 4-step method. Here's how to apply this naturally. Step 1. Observe the role. What image are they presenting? Strong, funny, calm, carefree? Step 2. Consider the opposite. What would that role be protecting? Need, sensitivity, pressure, insecurity? Step 3 suggest, don't state, frame it as curiosity, not certainty. I get the feeling. Something tells me. I might be wrong, but Step 4. Return to normal conversation. Don't hover on it. Let their mind process it. This creates emotional momentum instead of pressure. 12. Why this makes you unforgettable. Other people try to compete by adding value. More money, more jokes, more achieve me. NTS, more attention. You're competing on a different level. You're competing on emotional meaning. People forget what you say. They forget what you do. They never forget how they felt around you. And feeling understood is one of the strongest emotional experiences the brain can register. Challenge for the viewer. Here's your challenge for the next 24 hours. Don't start conversations with autopilot questions. Instead, notice one emotional contradiction in someone and gently point to it. Nothing dramatic, just one small observation. Watch what happens to the energy in the interaction. Watch how people suddenly engage more deeply. That moment of shift, that's where real connection begins. Final message. Stop trying to become impressive. Impressive fades. Become emotionally recognizable. Because when someone feels like you see who they really are, you stop being just another face in the crowd. You become an experience. And the brain never forgets experiences. If you made it this far, I appreciate you more than you know. Most people want easy answers. You stayed for understanding, and that already puts you ahead. If this video gave you a new way to look at attraction, connection, or human behavior, let me know in the comments. I read them, and they help shape what I create next. Don't forget to subscribe if you want more content on confidence, psychology, and real social power, without fake tactics and empty motivation. Thanks for watching. Stay sharp, and I'll see you in the next one.